Have you ever wondered why a Pokemon you trained to be at a certain level is more powerful than a Pokemon caught wild at the same level? I'll tell you why. It's all a part of effort values, or EVs. You may be asking yourself, what the are you talking about? Just wait, I'll tell you. The Pokemon stats are determined by a few things. First of all Pokemon have base stats, which means at level 100, their stats are going to be a certain level no matter, or even if you never fought anybody. Does that make sense? I think it does. On top of that, there's something called effort values. Effort values are taken basically from what happens with Pokemon while you train it. Pokemon get effort values from Pokemon they defeat in battle, either wild or trained. And obviously it doesn't happen in competitive battles. Here's how it works. Every single Pokemon in the game, all 493 species or whatever, has a certain effort value attached to them. For example, a Golbat would have 2 speed effort values, or EVs. And when your Pokemon defeated it, it would get 2 speed EVs. Now, every Pokemon in the game has EVs attached to them, usually their highest stat. So a Graveler would have 2 defense EVs, a Golbat would have 2 speed EVs, blah 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 blah. If you want to know exactly which Pokemon has what EVs, you can go to Serabi.net, that's where I check it out. Or you can keep watching the video. Now, a Pokemon can get up to 510 EVs, but it can only have 252 EVs in any one stat. There's EVs for every stat: HP, attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. So like I said, only 252 in a certain stat. So say you were training a Sweeper. Sweepers are, or let's just say a Weavile, Ice Dark Pokemon. Sweepers need a lot of speed EVs and attack EVs in either special or attack, or special attack or attack, depending on what kind of EV what kind of sweeper you want. In Weavile's case, we're going to make it a physical sweeper. So it's going to want to fight a lot of Pokemon that have attack EVs and a lot of Pokemon that have speed EVs. You might be asking yourself, well, okay, great. How am I supposed to do that? Here's what you do. First of all, once you beat the Elite Four and you go to the new island and the Battle Tower, when you win a few rounds of the Battle Tower, you get battle points, right? And you can cash those in to buy certain items, either TMs or specialty items. The power items will be Power Bracer, Power whatever. All those items can increase the amount of EVs you get from a Pokemon. They add 4 EVs to however many you got in the first place. Say you defeated a Graveler, you would get 2 defense EVs. If you have a certain power item on your Pokemon when it's fighting, after it defeats that Pokemon, or it's a hold item, that Pokemon will then get 6 EVs. That's a lot quicker way of training your Pokemon. So buy those first of all. There's 6 of them overall. I think if you beat the Tower Tycoon a couple times, you'll be fine. So buy those, it'll make things a lot easier to train. Now there are certain places where it's a lot easier to train to find, say, Pokemon that give you a lot of HP EVs, things like that. Maryland has gone into this in a much better produced video than this right here, but I'll attempt to tell you where you'd want to do that. So you've got your power item equipped on the Pokemon that you want to train. You can take that Pokemon to here. Okay, so we got that Weavile. Attack EVs. The place I go for attack EVs is by the place where all it rains in the marsh. There's a lot of those terrible names right there. There's a lot of those violent insect or bug Pokemon and the beaver thing that a lot of people call HM Slave. I don't even remember its name right now because it's a crappy Pokemon, but they give you attack EVs. That's where I would train for attack. You're going to meet a lot of them in wild encounters, and that's the way to do it. Just run away from anything that's not going to give you attack EVs, take them out, and soon you'll be getting 6 attack EVs per thing you defeat. For speed, there is a person along the route between the forest with the ghost house and that city. He's one of the fishermen. If you do a Versus Seeker on him, he's got 6 Magikarp. Magikarp give you 1 speed EV. With the item, you'll get 5 speed EVs per Magikarp. So that's like, he's got 6 Magikarps. That's 30 speed EVs right there, and that adds up real quick. So fight them a lot, you'll get the speed EVs. Special attack EVs, I would go to that ghost house in the forest and fight all those Ghastlies. They're going to give you specials, and those are the only thing in the ghost house. So that's the perfect way of doing that. For defense EVs, I would go to Iron Island, where you can fight Steelix and Grapplers, and just run away from the Golbats. For special defense, it's a little bit trickier. It's kind of hard to do that one. Basically, I would swim around the route between Sunny Shore and the Elite Four, or the, what's it called? I don't remember what it is, but place where you fight the Elite Four. There'll be a lot of Tentacruels and Mantine Prevolutions, and they have special defense EVs. For HP, I would fight those little baby beaver things. I can't even remember the name right now. But just in the first route, when you just leave the starting town, there'll be a bunch of those, and just fight those to get a bunch of HP EVs. So I think that's it. Yeah. If your Pokemon isn't ready to take out other Pokemon, you can have an experience share and have a stronger Pokemon actually train for you until you get strong enough to take out your own Pokemon. And that's how you EV train. You can keep track of this with a notebook and just adding up the number of EVs you get over time. This is how you get your Pokemon to have extremely high stats. Sometimes you want a better distribution, but that requires a lot of thinking. If you really want a balanced Pokemon, just have them fight whatever, and that's how it'll balance it out. But that's basically EV training. If you have any other questions, you can go to Sarabyte.net or smokeon.com, and they'll fix you right up.